will die upstairs in my bedroom that I share with my husband, with my mother and my husband by my side, and pass peacefully with some music that I like in the background.
Not sure if that happened because they went to Oregon, but more of that in a few moments. Moral Maze, much to discuss, and first up is the case of euthanasia. It's a gripping example. Lisa Golob is here from Campaign Life. Brittany Maynard. I mean, there's another interview she gives where she cries and she says, if people could feel that the bone-shattering headaches and the inability to function, and then she cries when she's looking at my boyfriend and not knowing his name. She wanted to die. She moved to another state where euthanasia is legal, or went there for the weekend, and obviously took her own life.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about this story, if you want to use that term, I would say more tragic, is that, you know, this is just an emotionally charged anecdotal situation where one woman, where the pro-euthanasia camp used one woman's circumstance to further their agenda. And where I think it totally backfired was just last week, she released another video saying that she wasn't going to, she may not go through with it, that she hadn't spent enough time with her family. She didn't think it was the right time. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was headlines saying that she actually did go through with it on November 1st. So I think that by having an organization which uses someone to further their agenda actually maybe could have pressured her when she didn't want to do it at that time to actually go through with it. So I think that it's very dangerous for those types of groups to prey on the vulnerable to further their own cause.
Yeah, I agree that there are groups exploiting this debate in this situation, I think on both sides, mind you, and who knows what happened here. But putting aside those organizations that want to score points, if this young woman is in terrible pain, if she can't remember things, she doesn't even know her boyfriend's name anymore, and she wants life to end, who has the right to say no? No, you have to carry on. You have to carry on until you will die quite soon, but you have to go on.
Well, I mean, this goes back to the debates that we've been having for years and years in Canada about physician-assisted suicide, and I think it comes down to how physician-assisted suicide affects an individual and how it affects society. And if we look at other states where this is legal, you know, you definitely have this slippery slope, and I think it's one of the most powerful arguments whereby people who are suffering, maybe even in terminal situations, feel pressured, are given drugs by, you know, a family member or pressured in some way. Then it comes down to euthanizing children under 12 or newborn babies with disabilities, and it continues and continues and continues.
But why should, I mean, we spoke to a guy last week who'd spent time in Belgium and Holland, and he said that the slippery slope is a reality. I know the term is overused. That doesn't mean it's always inaccurate. I think we have to be incredibly careful here, but that doesn't solve the challenge of a woman like this. I mean, what do we say to her?
Well, I mean, I think that the best way to get through to her are how the people people who had very similar situations like Brittany's, who had terminal cancer, wrote open letters, made videos telling her that, you know, that her life is a life worth living, and that just because she did have this potentially terminal diagnosis doesn't necessarily mean that she would die without dignity, or that she would even die at all. There were various articles coming out saying that, you know, that one woman was 24 when she had 2 terminal brain tumors, and she survived. She's 32. She has a 6-year-old. So I think that, you know, just by showing her that people care for her, that she doesn't need to die in this way, that there is hope. Hope is a huge thing for people with terminal cancer, and go from there.
All right. I mean, you make a very compelling argument. I wonder. I think the next year or two is going to see an enormous expanding of the debate in this country. Lena Dunham. I suspect for most people, they've not heard of Lena Dunham, but she is, well, you know, she's quite talented. She's a comic and sort of actress, very much on the left. Her show can be quite funny, can be quite poignant, almost self-mocking. But she's brought a book out. It's a collection of essays, really. But in it, she seems to, well, she says things that went on between her and her sister. I think he's about 6 or 7 years younger.
Yes, yeah.
And I believe flippantly says it was child abuse. Now, we can't go into all the details. We're going to show some passages from the book, but forgive this, but when her sister was, what, a year old, and she'd put some beads or something in her vagina. And Lena, who was 7 at the time, took them out, and they said, "Mom, look at this." And I don't think that's abuse. Another incident where she kissed her sister on the lips for a few seconds, which seems very odd. And other passages I don't really want to say on air, but you can see them in the book. A conservative blog website has now said that she abused her sister. She's threatening to sue. They're merely quoting it, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, she herself says, one of the quotes in the book was that she did anything that a sexual predator might do to woo a small suburban girl. She was trying. So, you know, this conservative news source came out saying, how can you sue us for just quoting you? Because that's what they were doing. And I think that even though the 1-year-old in that one particular circumstance, even though she did put pebbles up her vagina,
pebbles?
Lena was exploring her vagina. She didn't even know that there was pebbles up there. So it was
that is not unprecedented, you know, and abuse wouldn't be assumed. No, I'm sorry. I mean, children are curious. It doesn't mean they're always abusing.
I think, you know, a curious child would be picking their nose and examining it, not examining their sister's vaginal
I think you might be a
parts.
little surprised. However, other things happen as well. There's one particular incident that is very disturbing. Was she not being almost flippant, as I mentioned earlier, or mocking when she said anything that a child abuser would do? I don't think she was actually saying, I am. She was almost making a joke of the whole thing.
I mean, it's hard to tell. She's very dry, and the situations that she was describing, one could easily come to that conclusion. Even, you know, in one story, she was, you know, her little sister kept asking her to sleep in her bed, and she did. And then, you know, she would do various things while she was sleeping, including masturbate right next to her.
Well, that's the thing I didn't want to say, yes. But that is very disturbing, because not that she's doing that, but that she's after feeling her sister, her body. I mean, it's very strange. Would you be so upset about this if it was a conservative?
I would be upset about it if it was anyone. Yeah. But the fact that Lena, not only does she own this type of behavior, but she also is seen as some type of role model for women. She's very pro-abortion. She recently launched a Planned Parenthood. Actually, Planned Parenthood toured with her for her book tour, you know, getting funds off of that. So everything that she stands for is completely anti-women, and this only furthers the cause with
she would say the very opposite,
examining her little sister in ways that are completely inappropriate.
Yeah, and she would say that she's very pro-women.
Yeah,
and a huge number of women would say they think the show is very liberating.
No, not any women that I've ever talked to.
Well, that could well be. But that says a great deal about everybody involved. As always, it's a sort of pleasure. Thank you very much indeed.